Hello and welcome to a brand new game for the channel. So today we are checking out Surviving Mars. Now whether this is just going to be a first taste or a full let's play, that's sort of down to you guys, how much you like it. If you enjoy it, can I ask you more than, to comment, like it, subscribe, let me know that this is something you guys want to watch, and that will push me into making more videos on it. Obviously I'm trying to grow my channel a lot at the moment, and the more activity there is on a series, the more I know people are going to enjoy it, and so the more videos of that series I do. So, if you enjoy this, please let me know in the first couple of episodes. I'll normally do sort of 3 to 5 episodes as a first taste, and then if there's a lot of interest, I'll carry the series on. So, as I say, if you guys enjoy it, let me know. But we're going to go straight in with a new game. Okay. So, first up, we're picking our sponsor. Now, these are sort of from the bottom, very easy, all the way to Russia, which is the hardest. We're not going to go very easy, but I don't think we're going to go Russia either. The games I've played sort of the lower end of the tier, mostly. Okay. So each one of these will have a different set of starting starting funding, starting research, the rare metal price, and the applicants. Those are the things you're looking for. They will also have different bonuses. So, for example, we've got a starting funding of 30 million from the International Mars mission. For the USA, we have a starting fund of 8 million. Massive difference there. Blue Sun Corporation starting at 10 million. China is 8 million, so on and so forth. Obviously, the harder it is, the less starting fund normally. Same with the research. So research per soul, 300, 300, 200, 400. So it doesn't always go down, it can go up. Rare metal price is something, because when you dig up rare metals on Mars, you can use them to create things, or you can send them home for money. So depending on the rare metal price, sometimes it's more profitable to send them home. I think 25 is the best it gets to, yeah. Then you're looking at sort of the additions. So, this one has larger rocket payloads. Colonists never get Earthsick. Obviously, it's very easy, so it gives you a lot of extra stuff. USA, periodic additional funding. That's not bad. Can buy... Wow, you can buy applicants. Nice. More colonists. Ooh. India's not bad. It gives you low G engineering straight away, which lets you go straight to a medium dome instead of a small dome. I think I'm going to go with Europe. We'll go sort of middle of the road in challenge. So this will be normal difficulty. So with Europe, I get 6 million additional funding, 400 research per soul, 22 metals, rare metal price, starting applicants of 100. I'll also start with 5 extra starting technologies. So that just gives me a little more in the way of, what I want to research first. I also gain funding every time I research something, and I get double that money if it's a breakthrough tech. So the more research I rack up, the quicker I will earn money. So this is a decent one to go with. Commander. Okay. So the commander profile is like your sort of character in some respects. And each one will give, again, a different bonus. So, the inventor. Drones are gradually optimized to work and construct faster, until Sol 100. So your drones will just get better. And autonomous hubs, or the drone hubs, no longer require power or maintenance. That is kind of awesome. All of these do have a massive effect on your game, so depending on what you choose will have quite an impact later on. Futurist. Okay, that's not bad. Rocket. This one's not bad if you're going to be moving across the map a lot, because the CO2 jet propulsion being unlocked early is quite significant. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with a rocket scientist. We're going to Mars. Let's have someone that actually deals in rocket science. As for the logo, I'm sorry, but we have to be Don't Panic. Just has to be. Now, the mysteries. The mysteries are like end game events. I've played one or two of them. I think I've only finished one of them. But I'm just going to let this be random. Because, you know, there's no fun picking a mystery. The whole point of it is it's a mystery. So eventually, you know, there is the possibility that on random we'll get no mystery. But yeah. So next. So now we're actually choosing what's coming with us on our very first rocket. So we've got orbital probes so that we can scan areas. We've got electronics, machine parts, polymers. They're basic building materials. We've got drones so that we can actually build stuff on Mars, because we're not sending humans straight away. We actually have to build a dome or two first. We've got an explorer so that we can scan anomalies. Then we've got some of the prefab buildings. So we've got a drone hub so that we can actually control the drones. A moisture evaporator so we can create water from the air. And we've got a fuel refinery. This converts fuel from water. So these two together will allow us to refuel our rockets and send them home. The drone hub obviously is going to be needed to build stuff. So the only thing that we're going to need once we really get to Mars is to start creating metals and concrete so that we can actually control stuff. I'm just going to leave the rocket names for now. If you guys, you know, want a rocket named after you, let me know. And when we see a new rocket with a new name, we'll change it. So next thing to do is to pick a landing site. Now, there are some landing sites that are sort of set. So if you go to Epsilon Alpha, it will always look the same, and it will, you know, always have the same metals, concrete and water resources in the same spots. So if you are new to the game, I'd recommend going to sort of these places so that you can get used to the map, and, you know, if the difficulty is too high, then you can always reset, try with an easier set of variables, and, you know, go to the same map so you'll have some idea of what's going to be around. But we're just going to go with a random spot. To be honest, I think somewhere in between these two. So we'll have max metal, max concrete, nearly max water, but our threats are very low. The only one that's a little bit higher is meteors, so yeah. We're also relatively flat, which is kind of good. Temperature is -15, and the altitude is nearly -3,000 meters. Wow. Okay. So yeah, your altitude comes into play with your wind turbines. The higher up you are, the better the bonus your wind turbines get. So yep, we're going here.
Welcome to Mars.
Thank you very much. So, everyone at Mission Control is impatient to see the rocket touching down and unloading its precious cargo. Our remotely controlled eyes and hands on the red planet, the drones and rovers. Our goal is to secure a foothold for humanity by building the first Martian dome. This daunting endeavour will allow the brave pioneers, the founders, to settle on Mars and prove that the colony is sustainable. But until then, we have to make sure the colony has enough construction resources, water, oxygen and power. So, it will uncover a single one of these squares where you can start. You can use the orbital probes to sort of open up more of these areas to see. Wow, relatively flat my arse is all I'm saying to this. Like, seriously. Although, I really think we should put the solar panels and stuff up here and build down here. Then again, look at the land here. It's ridiculous. Right. We're going to uncover this one. Ooh, that's got a lot in it. Okay. Uncover there and uncover there. Okay, that's not bad. We found water on Mars. Didn't that one count? So these are your milestones. These will affect your overall score, so as you complete them, you'll end up with your score. Your difficulty bonus comes about from the starter, like the backers that you've chosen, the area you've chosen, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Pause, because otherwise we're just wasting time. We found 3 different anomalies, which, yeah, we have. So on this tab, as you can see, it tells you the buildable area. It also tells you what is in that area. So, for example, here we've got 86 metals that are just on the surface that you can just pick up. You've got 886 metals that are underground. 365 rare metals that are underground, and water, which is underground. So dependent on what you need would depend on where you build. Now, this looks like the best one to build at because it's got concrete, it's got 2 metal deposits, and it's got the most metal deposits on the actual surface. Now when you zoom in, you can't actually see the boundaries between areas, and they are sort of superficial. They don't actually matter, except when sort of in that zoomed out view. So I think we'll land our rocket right there. Yep, we don't need all that information. We do want, up here, to set some of these areas to be scanned. There we go. Now, dependent on who your commander is, you might only be able to set 5 of these sectors. Because of who I've got, I can choose 9, I believe. And what it'll do is, it'll scan this area. Once it's finished, it'll move on to the next number, and so on and so forth. As you can see, I can't set a 10th, but it will tell you when a sector's scanned and what has been found and things like that. So as long as you add more to the list every now and then, you'll be fine. Okay, and the next thing to do is to add research. So we've got this research for free because of who our commander is. Normally you would only have this first row showing. Because of who my backers are, I also have the second row showing. So they're the extra 5 techs that I get. And so we've got farms and we've got apartments straight away. That's kind of awesome. I would like Martian crowdfunding because that's an extra influx of cash. So definitely a good thing. I'd then like farms and engineering. Oh, actually no. I would like Explorer AI. In fact, I'd like that before the crowdfunding. So Explorer AI generates 100 research per soul for each RC rover vehicle. Multiple vehicles result in collaboration losses. So what this is do is at the moment I am only generating 400 science every sol. And you can change, like you can add more by outsourcing, which is just here. You basically spend money and get some research in exchange. Problem with that is I want my money because I think I might need it later down the line. So I don't really want to outsource at the moment. Later on, when you're selling rare metals and things like that, outsourcing becomes easier to do. You'll get research from research labs. Kind of need colonists and buildings for that. Hawking Institute, which is sort of the upgraded version of labs, and then genius colonists. If you have a genius in your colony, they will just give you like 50 research points every sol, I believe. But they're the ways to increase it. Having this means that the rover that we brought with us from Earth that hasn't actually landed yet will also generate 100 research, which is kind of useful. Now I'm going to be playing on fast mostly. You straight away, if you can analyse that anomaly, that would be grand. And we want to build our first drone hub. I want that concrete in this area. I wouldn't mind both waters being in the area either. I think just there would be fine. It's within the rocket's area of effect, so my drones will go along, dig up some of this metal, and build the drone hub. Although, actually, no, they don't need to pick up any of the metal because the drone hub works from... it works off a pattern that I brought with me from Earth. That's right. So, certain things you won't be able to build. You see this little number? I can't build a Stirling generator, for example, until I get the pattern unlocked in the research. I can send a pattern from Earth, or like a prefabbed building of the Stirling generator, and that's what that number represents. So the refinery here, for example, we have one because we brought it from Earth. Sorry about that, guys, just had to cough. Throat just went ridiculously croaky there for no reason. We've also got this moisture vaporator, which we brought from Earth. Now, some things we can build straight away, like the water extractors, the Moxie, but, we don't actually need those yet. Wrong button, turns camera. Got it. So I want to build that just there, and I want to build that refinery just there. I then want to connect all of this with power cables. And these two buildings are going to need to be connected with pipes. So this will generate water, it will go through the pipe and straight to the fuel refinery. Now I am going to need power. So best thing for power, just pull that cable along a bit. We do have the stuff to build wind turbines at the moment, so we'll just have a couple of wind turbines like that. Now these produce 5 power each, and I think most of these buildings require 5 power, so should be covered. I say should. Oh, this takes 3 power, so that's even better. You take 5, and you haven't been built yet. You take 5. Awesome. So once we get these built, we will have enough. So we've just analysed that anomaly, and we got 1500 research from it. Awesome. We also completed the milestone, which was scan an anomaly, which got us the Explorer AI and got Martian crowdfunding more than halfway. Awesome. So as you unlock a tech, you will unlock the next one in the line. So depending on what you focus on, I mean, if I just focused on robotics, I could get really far down the line very quickly, but then I wouldn't unlock anything from the biotech, the engineering tech, the physics tech. They would still be exactly where they are. So It depends, and as I go further up the line, as you can see, the research slowly gets more expensive. So I could start at the bottom here and just work my way through this one, but eventually I'm going to be hitting techs that cost 10 or 20,000. Now the final sort of two in each are like the most powerful, and that's where you tend to find like the wonders. And the wonders are like massive mega projects that have far-reaching implications, like a space elevator that basically cuts the cost of shipping stuff from Earth in half. You know, that's kind of awesome. But we're going to take a while before we actually reach those. So, what do I actually want next? We're getting the Martian crowdfunding. I think the low G high-rise and farms, because when we build a biodome, we're going to want these. You start out with sort of... here we are. We start out with this little hydroponics farm, but it doesn't really create a lot of food, whereas a larger farm obviously creates more food. And the same with living space. We start out with this little living quarters, but the apartments obviously have a lot more room. So it just makes sense to use. Right. Now the next thing I want to do is build some stockpile zones. So what these are is I'll build a metal, a polymer, electronics, a fuel. I suppose we'll need concrete eventually. Yeah, it should be all of them. Did I do machine parts? No, I didn't. So what these are is any resources that we have, like the ones that are sitting inside the rocket at the moment, our drones will pull out of the rocket and put on these little stockpile plates. Now these plates can have 180 of whatever resource it is that you've put there. So this is just for metal, and it can hold 180 metal. You do have a universal one which can hold 30 of every resource. So if you just want sort of something to tick over, they can be handy. But as this is going to be our main area for a while, I'm putting sort of the main stuff down. Now I do want these wind turbines built as soon as possible, so I'm going to rack them up to highest priority. So our drones should go to them first, and for this bit I will speed up. I'm also going to get our RC rover working on the next research. So there's different anomalies and they'll do different things. So this anomaly, for example, says that it will help with our current research goal. This one we have no idea about. It will do something, but we don't know what. There's some that will give you breakthrough techs, which are completely randomized. So if we look at the tech tree, all of these researches are in a random spot on the list, but they come in groups, and I think it's normally groups of like 4. So this farm could be here, here, or here. Anywhere along this first little group. But it will always be in that first group somewhere. Same as the ones after it. You know, the 4 of them might swap position, but they'll all be in that 4 area. So that you don't get really advanced techs for a really cheap price. Which does make sense, and it does scale progression. You know, there's no point getting, I don't know, the low G fungi or you know, stuff like that really late in the game, because by then, you know, your colonists would have been starving because you can't produce food. Kind of pointless. But yeah, so it does scale your progression a bit. The breakthroughs, however, are completely randomized. In a full game, you'll get, I don't know, like 15, 20 of them. And there are lots more than that. So you won't get every breakthrough for every game. And they do all sorts of different things. So I've had a breakthrough that made piping and things like that cost nothing, I believe, or something along those lines. So it made these things basically free, and they didn't deteriorate. Whereas in another game, I've had it so that the mines that are here, for example, these extractors, it made it so that the ones that require workers could be done without workers, which again is awesome, but you can't guarantee what you're going to get, which is a pain. Awesome, we've finished the Mars funding and the low G high-rise. Nice. Increased research by the supplied by the sponsor. Yes, please. And then I'm going to go with decommission protocol. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to salvage and destroy buildings. So until you've actually got this research done, if I destroyed a building, it would just sit there as a wreck. And that's it, it just sits there. So you can't actually clear the landscape unless you've got that research done. I've moved up to faster just so that we can actually build these things quicker. We're not building them because we need concrete for them. Idiot! Right. Okay then. In which case I am just going to go with a couple of solar panels. It probably would have made sense to actually look at the requirements for building those, wouldn't it? Never mind. Right. There's some solar panels. They will get us going for now. So I've put them on the highest speed. They just require metal. So our drones will pick up some of the metal from around here and build those. And the solar panels, just like the wind turbines, or at least these large solar panels, produce 5 energy each. The difference, of course, is they only work in the day.
We discovered unusual crystals in the remains of a meteorite.
Ooh.
The magnified images of their crystalline matrix were broadcast by every major news channel on Earth.
One tabloid even claims that the crystal is in fact artificially created, some kind of artwork of a microscopic alien race. The work resembles million tiny cylinders surrounded by flames if you squint your eyes. The very static of the composition resembles a star map. The image is bordered by double rainbows, while the work has an abstract feeling and a very dynamic structure. While all this is unscientific sensationalization has outraged our experts, the publicity provided us with some unexpected benefits. So we just gained 400 million. Fair enough, I won't complain. Right. Now obviously our drones are turning off, or these buildings aren't going to work once these things shut down for the night. But for the moment, as I say, it will get us going. Now I want to build a concrete extractor just there. And this thing, just put power there and put a few more solar panels, I suppose. I'm not sure how much power this thing will require, so once we build it we'll find out. Now you can build batteries, but I don't really want to build those, and they again require concrete, so yeah. Oh, it only requires 5 power, so 2 of them is more than enough. So as you can see, this thing will just slowly move out and dig up the concrete in this patch, and it generates roughly 20 concrete every day. It also generates waste rock.
Research complete.
Thank you. So to get rid of waste rock, it's just here you build a dumping stockpile, and there you go. That little patch there, they'll eventually fill up with 70 little rocks, and then it'll be full. You can do stuff with the waste rock eventually, but it's quite far down the tech tree. So, yeah. Research. So we finished that. Unlock water reclamation. Okay. I would like that low G drive, because my rovers and stuff moving faster is always a good thing. And there we go. So you can queue up a lot of research at once. You don't have to. Ooh. Rover, go. Go. Oh, actually no. Rover, go and charge. So the rovers do have a battery pack, so you have to recharge them. So don't just send them out and expect them to last forever. They will eventually run out of charge and be stranded. That's enough charge. Go and research that. So this is a breakthrough tech. I want it analysed now. And research. So we're up to 600 million because of the funding we receive every time we finish a research. So I'm actually going to outsource. Now, I think in the long run you get basically the exact same. Yeah, you do. You get exactly the same amount if you do lots of these instead of one of these, but it's far easier just buying one of them. So, yeah, that gets us an additional 2,000 research every sol for the next 5 sols. Now, a sol in this is a day, but I think it also sort of works as a year for, you know, your people growing old and stuff. So, you know, your people might only be alive for like 50 sols or something, because it's also 50 years, even though it's days as well. Just to be complicated. Awesome. We're getting the wind turbines up, which means we can start getting rid of these solar panels. Now, at the moment, the drones are all being run via Vega 1.
Breakthrough discovered.
Nothing is actually being controlled. Oh, there's 4 drones being controlled here. Core metals. Okay, uncover extremely rich underground metal deposit. Okay. Fair enough, I'll add it to the list. Once we finish the Earth-Mars initiative, I'll probably move that to the top, just because we get more funding by researching that one. But it's not one that's massively important, to be quite honest. Let's get a wind turbine built just there, so that this concrete extractor doesn't have to wait for the daylight to work. Okay. So, life from Mars, we get more applicants to appear on Earth. Kind of useful. Now, to get something to the top of the research tree, if you just control click, it'll go straight to the top. So, it's useful that you don't have to sort of cancel everything and then choose a new order. If you've got the one thing that you really want to research in a hurry, you can just control click it. Now, because we're getting the extra research a day, we should finish that breakthrough in a single sol, which is handy. As for these rovers, as I was saying, they're currently being controlled by the ship instead of this drone hub. I can swap them over singularly, so click a drone, click that, so on and so forth. But when this rocket leaves, they'll automatically swap, if they're in range of this, to this is Jesus. They will automatically swap to be controlled by this drone hub. That's what I was trying to say. If they're outside of the range, because obviously the rocket's range is further this way. So if a drone is over here, for example, when I launch the rocket, The drone will just sit there until I tell it where to go. But, you know, you can just tell it to go within inside this range, and then it'll work out that this is its controller now. So they are kind of intelligent. Now, as you can see, our stuff is slowly getting dirty, and that's sort of the visual cue that it needs maintenance. So what will happen is this meter will slowly fill up. When it reaches the top, the building requires maintenance, and it will stop working. You can call for maintenance early, but whether the bar is at the max or right near the start, it will cost whatever resources are listed here. So it's kind of better to just let it stop working and then require maintenance normally, because the machines will go and work on it if it requires maintenance. The only thing that I'd suggest keeping an eye on is your drone hub, because if there's no rocket and your drone hub is the only thing controlling your drones, well, if that turns off, then that's it, game over, because you can't start it up again, you can't fix it with the drone if it's controlling the drones. So yeah, just be aware of that. So we've just achieved a milestone, researched the breakthrough tech, so got that done pretty quick. Nice. Decent bit of cash for it, I think. We'll just work on the decommissioning protocol as we were before. So what did that actually unlock? Oh, that metal up there, I think, is what that unlocked. Yeah, so a deep underground deposit of metals can be exploited by a metal extractor. It's a deep metal, so it requires tech that's very far down in the research. It is massive though. 50,000 metal and a very high grade. Whereas, I mean, if we look at these ones... Oh, it might have uncovered all three of them. These ones, for example, the smaller ones, these aren't deep metals, but they are sort of comparable. You know, these are low quality and very small. These things, you'll get a lot of metal out of them, so can be a good thing. Really what I want though is more breakthrough techs, because I want to find out what this map has. Let's uncover that area next. But I think that is where I'm going to end the episode, guys, so please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if this is a series that you want to watch and see continue, and I shall see you next time.